Hello and welcome back to another Trickiness video. We are on Weed Inc., but unfortunately we're just going to be telling a story while we just kind of like collect the money. But anyway, so this story comes back from August of 2018. It was something that I had actually had to experience. So it happened on one Sunday morning. I was actually up playing really early morning of that day. I think I was playing Fortnite, to be quite honest, like not PvP but PvE, save the world. But anyway, enough of that. I was playing and then eventually I just started getting tired. I kind of wondered to myself, I was like, do I just get some sleep now and then possibly play later on, or do I just stay up and play? So I ended up just passing out, and the way that I sleep on the bed is kind of weird. You know how people just like lie on the bed like normal people do? I picked up a habit from my work where from the waist up, that's actually on the bed, and the waist down is just hanging off the bed. So I ended up just passing out right where I was sitting down playing games. And like 2 hours and 15 minutes later or something like that, it happened. It just so happened to be that as I was sleeping away, I heard crumbling rocks and a giant bang noise. And then next thing you know, I remember getting up as soon as I felt like something grabbed my like right side, like right underneath the right breast, and it just felt like something like grabbed me. It was quite the intense like pain for like the longest time. It felt like something hit me directly on the ribs, and it was just like something that just stayed there and lingered. And I was just pacing around the house, didn't know what happened, didn't go back to the room, because when I got up it was just gray dust everywhere, and it just looked like some like action movie where an explosion went off and then there's just like bits and pieces of stuff just floating around. And I just got out of the room. I just started pacing around the house. I was in shorts and I just didn't know what happened. Next thing you know, I get somebody to like ring the doorbell. I go over to the door, or I went upstairs and over to the door, and all of a sudden there's this guy that was asking me, is everyone alright? I put on a t-shirt real quick. I went outside, and a car had actually hit the house, and the part of the house that they hit was right where my room was located. So foundation blocks blew into my room and just scattered everywhere inside. It damaged a lot of stuff inside. I sat there and I was just kind of amazed of what even happened. My phone had actually got hit. A piece of like the foundation thing hit it square in the middle, right where the touchscreen was, and it actually had a giant like bump on the other end. So it like something hit it like right at the corner and then bounced off. But the screen was completely cracked at that one very specific point. It actually went all the way through and bent the metal piece on the other end. So the phone was eventually dying off. I did end up replacing that a couple months later. But I had gone outside and it was a Muslim family. They the older, I would say the mother of the family, which I would say was like, she kind of looked like she was in her 50s or her 60s, and she had actually hit the house. There were 3 males and then 1 younger female. The younger female was maybe 20 to 30. The males seemed like they were from like 25 to 35 or so. But they had actually asked me if I was alright. I said yes. And they were like, good, because we're about to go over there, as they pointed at one of the few hangouts that are located around the city at the time. And I said, no, just wait right here. And then I ended up calling the police. Police cars came over right away. There was about 2 of them. And then they were questioning what happened. And the story that the officers got from the family was, oh, I was turning onto the road and I didn't straighten out the wheel, and as soon as I hit the curb I floored it. So they were coming down the main road. They turned off onto the street where the house was located, and they're still turning and turning. As soon as they hit the curb, they gassed it or floored it just straight. It hit the house directly. There's skid marks on the sidewalks. There's like a direct path of where they went. They took out the plants that were on the side of the house. It was just a mess. I had actually tried calling siblings, family. Nobody was answering because it was so early morning. When they hit the house, it was 9:17 a.m. and I was trying to call people at 9:40, 9:50. My mom was actually at church and I couldn't call her because her phone's off during church. So I tried calling a few other people. Nobody was answering. And then eventually one of my brothers ended up answering. I told him what happened, and eventually word got around. My dad and mom showed up, and they were talking to the police and stuff. The police had actually called an ambulance for me. I wasn't really hurt that bad in the incident. I actually only got scrapes on my body, or on my different various parts of my body, I guess. Because when I had actually woken up, apparently, like, I went back into the room, I took a photo, and right where I was lying down, there was a perfect outline of foundation blocks surrounding right where I was laying. And there was a complete cement block that was hanging and was being held up by a piece of wood. And it was right above right where my head was, so if that would have fallen, 40 pounds of just cement would have like smashed me right in the face. Whether or not if that would have killed me, I'm not really sure. But that was probably one of the few like near-death experiences that I've actually had to experience. And I actually felt chill of some sort. And this chill I can't really explain too well. I kind of want to call it a sinister chill. And if you actually imagine this thing that some people refer to like what happens after you live, or like pretty much after you die from this place, one of the few theories is the void. And the void is more or less of, if you try to imagine like everything in this current life that you had lived so far just doesn't matter. It just goes away. Nothing from this place carries on to the next, and so on. It's kind of different, I guess. It's something that I experienced, and I had that chill throughout the whole day. It was just the creepiest chill ever. Like, we had a hole in the house for a couple months until we actually had it fixed up, and during that entire day I was sitting in the other part of the basement, and all I could think is, what if it just happened again? Would I live through it? Would I be lucky enough to escape unscathed with just scrapes on my body, or would it be worse? Would I lose a limb? Would I bleed out? Would I do whatever? And overall it was a weird but unique experience, because I guess I could say I'm like one of the few people that had a car hit the house, had rubble fly into your room right where I was sleeping at, and only get scrapes from it and be able to live. There's some people that probably have similar experiences or very close to that, but a lot of the cases they end up just dying because something hit them in the wrong way, or something else happened where like parts of like the house fell and so on. It's just, the list goes on and on. But it's just one of the few things that I've had to experience so far. The other stories that I have on the channel, I do plan on redoing them, because the microphone back then was not the greatest. This one actually works a lot better than the last one did. It also picks up the voice a lot more. But I'll be definitely redoing them in like the next couple weeks here. That way I can get rid of the old ones and then bring in the new ones. I might not bring back the photo of like the hand one, but I don't know. I might bring it back because then you might have like a point of reference. But it'll probably be like a small like little square while having like probably this game playing. By playing I mean just collecting stuff. I know we didn't really do much on the game while it was just like sitting here. It was just something just fill up the room. I didn't want it to be like just a black screen and just talking about it. I could have done a webcam, but that's a bit much to set up. But that'll do it for today's video. I will see you guys next time. Video should be up in like the next 2 days or so. So I'll catch you guys then. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.